Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Welcome back to the channel Legends with me, Dragonborn Queen, for a very special video that I've had planned for a very long time, and I decided to try and sit down and attempt to solo the Queen without using Legacies. So here we go with the first run, and I am trying to use a bloodied fast fire rate Gatling Plasma. I'll show you all the weapons when we get to the end. If you want to just see what I actually used, you can skip to the end, but probably worth watching because I'm running it blooded at the moment, thinking that that would be the best way. But I encountered some problems which we'll discuss as they arise, and you'll see as we get further into the footage what sort of problems I had. So at this point I was running low and getting a bit annoyed with everything that was going on, so I went back into a stash box and grabbed out a legacy. At this point the announcement hadn't been made, so I wasn't aware that this wouldn't be an option for people, and I still have no problem with people using legacies on private servers. I think that should be the way that these weapons should be enjoyed. We should be able to still use legacies. But there are still legacy items in the game, so yeah, I am. First nuke, that was a fail. I didn't manage to do it without legacies, and that was the whole point of doing this. The second attempt I had wasn't even worth recording, so you won't even see me attempt that. But the third one was my final ditch effort, and it was like, I've got to put everything into this. So I decided to make prime weapons, decided to make, I made a prime anti-armor fast fire rate Gatling Plasma. I also put lots into other areas, and I also made myself full health. So here we go with the third build. This was all the sort of stuff I'd learnt previously running up to it. I also noticed something happening with the Queen's health, and I wasn't sure whether it was happening or not, but it was confirmed in this run, and it annoyed me a little bit. But as you can see, the damage numbers we're getting here are really high, and it's really good. But then she killed me, and I was like, no. And when I came back, I didn't realise at the time, but watching the footage again, yeah, she'd gained all her health back. Now she hadn't got the first lot of health, so she'd done the first bit where you take her down a third and regen, but I now had 17 minutes to do the full amount of damage, and so it was tough. And if that happened again, then I'd be in serious trouble, and I would really need to push it. Oh yeah, and you need lots of repair kits, so you probably will have need to run the Queen or purchased a lot from the store, which I don't really recommend unless you're adamant on doing this solo. But yeah, I've got lots from running previous Queens, so I'd got her down to about this amount of health, and quite near the end she regened again, and that bit will be coming up shortly. So I got annoyed, but something weird happened as well, and you'll see that on the footage in a minute. Something strange, and this was the third and final nuke, so this was my last ditch attempt. At this point she hadn't regened, and I thought, that's it, I've got it in the bag. Final little bit of health, if I can get her to land. I had crippling effects, and I had concentrated fire on and long shot, just to make sure that my ammo, each shot was reaching there. I also had this for crowd control. It is a bloodied auto grenade launcher, but you don't need the bloodied effect. There's not much difference between bloodied full health and bloodied hardening health, except you die more with less health. So these days, it's not really worth worrying about. It's more the demolitions perk card. And yeah, look, she's suddenly got all her health back, and we've got less than a minute. So I got quite annoyed and switched to the explosive Gatling plasma and gave her what for, really. And I thought, well, I won't kill her in that time, but I can see how much I can do in that short amount of time. So here we have event failed. Queen stood on half of her final, so a third health essentially, and she just sat here. So I managed to just finish her off with the Gatling plasma, and she sat there outside the time limit, and it still completed it on the third and final nuke. But it didn't feel like a victory, and it still wasn't using non-legacies. So I just cleaned up, and then I was like, well, that's it. That's all she wrote. That's all I had. I'd pretty much used up all the flux and everything, so I was going to have to rebuild my resources. I put everything into that final build and that final run. But I did believe that if I could do it like that with full health, anti-armor, faster fire rate, and yeah, obviously the crippling effect, concentrated fire on the wings. So I was like, woke up this morning, I was like, let's give it another go. Let's go back to the silo and try again. I just knew on this run I couldn't die, so I was using a vampire flamer and things like that just to help me. And yeah, I also knew I had to do a third health before 20 minutes was up, the other third before 10-minute mark. I hit the 10-minute mark, and then the final third in the last bit, which is the last half of the final bar that you'll get. I was also using crowd control here in the explosives, which I love that weapon. Blooded auto grenade launcher. Any anti-armor auto grenade launcher would probably be just as good, if not a little better, possibly, because as I found, anti-armor, prime, faster fire rate, Gatling plasma is pretty nice. So yeah, I'm crippling the wing, I'm just bringing her down, hitting those beats constantly. And I was like, okay, I had lots of things on me, getting annoyed with this Yao Guai, legendary Yao Guai. I was like, right, yeah, we can do it. And then I was like, my health. And that's it. That's when my heart sank. I was like, it's over. I'm going to have to press the button. I'm going to have to respawn. She's going to regen. And sure enough, she had regen. And now we had 16 minutes to do 2/3 of her health. So yeah, I thought, at this point, I thought it was all over. But I wasn't going to give up. So 6 minutes to go, and I got her down to a slither of health. It's like, this is achievable in just under 7 minutes actually, isn't it? 6:55. Which I was just like, this is so achievable. I could feel it. I was like, this is the one. We're gonna do it. And we did. Finally. After lots of extensive research, trying different things and getting there. So the weapons I used, I'll show you in a minute, and I'll also talk about legacies going forward, because there are still some items that could be considered legacy. I'll throw a few that I've got in there just to show you, and then I'll talk to you the differences and why. Oh, and also my score has been blocked most of the week, so I haven't played any 76 this week, so perhaps the break helped and I came back and I just had a fresh approach to it all with the knowledge that I had built up previously on previous nuke runs, and I was able to digest all that information. So it is still possible to solo the nuke without legacies. It's just very resource costly and very you have to be very lucky, I would say. So what you need is a little ammo, a little good build, and I'm not even got full legendary cards by the way on Bob. He's not maxed out. You need a little bit of a little power armor. Doesn't really matter. I think I've got one piece that's bolstering. If you can get a full set of bolstering, I would say that'd probably be the best. Bolstering anti-armor, fast fire rate would be the way to go. But yeah, apart from all that, that was it. So here's the guns that I was using. I'll show them on the screen. But yeah, that would be the way to go. That is the way to do it. And the biggest thing you need is a lot of luck. So she doesn't fly out of range and regen, or you don't get killed and end up in the nuke zone and she regens, because she can just fly off to the point where she's nowhere near you and she regens. The game is supposed to track everything that's going on, especially if you're in an event, and I think her circle of area where she can roam should be shortened, but for some reason sometimes she flies almost over to Watoga, and I've seen it on a private server. It's ridiculous, and she shouldn't have that much free range in my opinion. But perhaps it's because she's not in the nuke zone, she's not restricted to any areas. Mind you, she goes in and out of the nuke zone, so that theory's kind of shot in the water as well, isn't it? So I don't know the reason why. It's supposed to track everything across the servers. It used to have dynamic weather, but I've had someone standing next to me saying I'm enjoying the radstorm, and I'm like, there's no radstorm. And we've sent pictures at the exact same time, and we've got different things on screen. I'm guessing all these changes have come because they've added so much into the game. I'm not entirely sure, this is just theoretical now. But yeah, we'll get on to the legacies, and also we'll get on before the end of the video something I'm doing for the celebrating 25 years of Fallout. But we'll get to that shortly. This is the flamer that I use. It has 250 damage resistance while reloading. Limb damage is really nice, and obviously the vampire effect, which keeps you alive. So here's the power armor I'm using. Just have a quick look at it. It's nothing special. It's T60 by the way. T65 would be better as well. And as I say, if you can get T65 bolstering or XO1 bolstering, you know, anything bolstering, to be honest with you. There's one bolstering piece, the rest is like random effects really. Kind of helps with it. It's sort of a mixture of everything. You know, but yeah, it kind of helps with the damage to melee attackers and all that sort of thing. Helps, and reduced ammo weights certainly help with because you will be carrying lots of ammo. I would recommend loads of fusion cells, you know, plasma cores, sorry, ultrasight. So here's the legacy stuff. Prototype hazmat suits, they are still legacy. You'll be like, well, I can get them, I can just go to a quest and I got a prototype hazmat suit. The difference is it wasn't level 51. So here's the unstoppable monster that you get, and here's the unstoppable monster from survival. And you'll notice the key difference is it's got a blue band. It can also be traded, the one from survival. There's also Resolute Veteran from survival, which was pre-nuclear winter days. And there's also a fair few other weapons that I'm not fully aware of. There are friends have mentioned to them. So yeah, there are still legacy items within the game. So legacies, in the traditional sense of the word, aren't going anywhere. But that's all I have. So the final thing, 25 years, everything on all my characters. Yeah, it's one cap, apart from obviously that you've been insulted at 40,000, which everyone has in their vending machines. I don't expect you to buy that, but yeah, everything else I'm selling for 1 cap. So if you see me online, Dragonborn MCQ, obviously similar to the channel, that's, have a look. But that is all, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like on it, don't forget to subscribe, and we shall see you all in the next video. Oh, and I've done nearly 5,600 hours now. Only 2,000 more hours and we get 760 out of them. Hopefully I'll see you all there, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.